All right, today I'm going to do a Joseph Clement Coll from this book, The Art of Adventure. There's this little archer guy, and I picked up just a sketchbook, and I'm going to do it just with a precise Pilot V7 rolling ball. I think this one is fine, and for me, it's just the practice of getting in and doing something daily. So I'm going to just start by drawing in the guy's hand and just go for it. So, practice in your sketchbook. I think it's just good to be able to jump right in and sketch. All right, so studying these artists is always fascinating because they're creating bands of form that follow the form rather than just hatching for hatching's sake. You can see that it's bending around, and it's some of the things that old etchings, old masters used to have artists when they come in their studio do that, because they would learn how to get form, because you're actively describing form if it's rolling on rather than just like hatching vertical and horizontal. All right, and then you can interpret this any way that you want to. I'm going to put a little of my hand in there. There's that bend there of the thorax. That's really where the bend of the pose is. And then building the calipers into your eyes, so that you're not having to trace or anything like that. It's just a skill set you can just really learn, and then you can sketch anywhere. But all right, go up here, pull this over. He's got that nice bend right there, pulls it over, and then it's just that sense that the archer's head, we can't quite see it, it's bending over. Again, there's nothing wrong with even interpreting all this stuff. Some of the sketches, like master sketches, I should say, because they're not really true like forged copies. Sargent did an awesome one of Aesop by Velasquez, and you can just see it's his version of it, and it's quite a fascinating way to kind of think about this, because it's not like we're trying to make forgeries or copies of things. It's really to get the skill set and understand why the person made those decisions. Even like as Fontaine-Latour would say, it's kind of, you're sketching all the time, and now you've sketched similarly like Joseph Clement Coll. Not only are you actively studying the pose, but you're studying the decision making that comes along with it. So just find this. Sash is up there. This comes over. Comes up. Then there's just that bend up and over. And the leg comes up. And this bends down the bow. And then this comes up. And this connects to the head. then this is the arrow. Comes out. Correct that a little bit. This is his leg. It's good to kind of try to recognize what all this stuff is too. And here's the bending of the form. Just kind of following the form. Nothing like just scribbles. Although scribbling as a technique sometimes is quite nice. Alright, then this bumps out for the calf. Look at that, the way he composed it was that there's an arrow that goes on one side of the leg and an arrow that goes on the other. That's on one side, that's on the other. And it's really just showing that it's like the archer is so close. Oh no, it's not. They're both on the other side. But the archer's so close to getting hit. So, crazy. Breaking up that space. Alright, and then get this down. You find that in studying like something like this, if you went to go do one, you may think of like maybe a bit more of a more dynamic pose, you know, because you've studied one. It's pretty dynamic. And this, you know, you go vertical and the calf comes really out. And this. Sets up how this connects to it. You know, sometimes you're putting together things that, you know, the picture. All right, and then this comes up and over. All right, and now let's get the arrow in there. And this, yeah, you can see that just needs to come up a little bit, but not that big of a deal. All right, then this comes over. Then you got your little sketch, so you know, obviously you can keep going, and he has like a whole beautiful kind of elaborate sketch going on here. But you know, if you only have like 10 minutes and you could do a quick little drawing, so I think this is really what influenced a lot of the comic artists too, that they love, like Clement Coll or Edwin Austin Abbey has awesome pen and ink drawings too. Back in the day, it was easier to, well, I think, for publishing reasons, to get black and white published. So look at the line quality. This too. Alright, and then just a nice couple lines in there to balance all this out. Get a little thicker in here too. Think about balancing the drawing and how he's balancing all the dark with like some of these beautiful like little thin lines, and then you start to again think about that and then put it in your own work, especially if you're going to do like pen and ink work. But nothing wrong with even just sketching for sketching's sake, just seeing if you can kind of nail it. Studying just the line quality, which is exquisite. All right, now you got a little archer.